Hello, friends. This is Caleb Warnock, and I have what I think is a special treat for you today. We are here to make some more botanical paints, pigments, and dyes. And what I have right here is a Scaevola plant. And it has just started to snow at my house in the Rocky Mountains. We live at 5,200 feet in the Great Basin Desert. And it has just started to snow. It's a couple of days before the first day of November, so a couple of days before Halloween. And I just was sitting here making paint out of plants, and I thought, well, what else can I use to make paint out of plants? And I thought, oh, Scaevola. And then I thought, oh, I've got to go move the Scaevola into the greenhouse. It's going to die. So I just ran outside and found a pot and dug up these Scaevola flowers and moved them. I have 9 geothermal greenhouses, and I moved them into one of my um, zone 10, 11 geothermal greenhouses, and I pruned this bit off and thought, I'm going to bring this in and we will make some paint. And I want to show you this really quickly because this is how I discovered the Scaevola flowers. Um, and I'll maybe tell you that story in a minute, but this is the first time I ever in my life, this is my travel notebook. I just keep a travel notebook so that as I'm traveling around the world, then I can test paints, pigments, and dyes. And so anyway, this is the first time I ever came across Scaevola. And I'm going to just show you how beautiful, look how beautiful that is. And so let's take a page back here. I've just been using this travel notebook because it's small enough to sort of fit on the screen with you guys. And we want to remove this white part here because we don't want to dilute the color. And these are purple Scaevola, but they make blue paint. Now, we don't have a lot of petals there, and I guess we could pull off another one here. We could be generous. We could do 2 and put, I'm going to say 2 drops. There's not a lot of petal there. So we're using the glass slab for the molar, and here's the molar. This is the molar slab, and here's the glass molar. And we'll move this aside, and we're just going to grind this up with the molar. And Scaevola has pretty thin petals, and so it grinds pretty easily. And I'm going to show you in a moment why this is such an amazing plant. It's the first time I came across this plant, I was so excited because if you are into botanical dyes and stuff like that, I can tell you that the most difficult color to come across is blue. And so here, somewhere I have a rag somewhere. Who knows where it is? I'm just gonna wipe this off. So I've just molded this onto the paper, and you can see that it is definitely not blue. It is more of a gray, which is, a useful color in and of itself. However, when I did this, I don't know if I can find this again quickly, that first one that I ever did. When I did that, oh, there's another one right there. When I did that, I was just using the fresh flour. I wasn't, I was at a restaurant in Los Angeles, and all I did was take that and rub it on there, which is the usual test that I usually do. And I was so astonished because look at that. It turns blue. And I was like, whoa, blue is such a hard color to come by. And as you can tell from my notebook, it stays blue when it is dry, which is even more rare because normally if you find a blue, out in the wild, and this has been in here for a long time, it um, will fade away, but this blue stays blue. Isn't that beautiful? So I was so excited to find Scaevola. And then after we came home, I called my local nursery because we live nowhere near Los Angeles. We were just at this restaurant and they had these beautiful flower boxes with flowers in them. And so while there were quite a few members of my family there, and while we were waiting and ordering our food and waiting for our food, everyone else was just kind of chatting together, and I was running around the whole like 2 blocks around the restaurant trying to test every flower that there was because I'm rarely in Los Angeles. I've only been in Los Angeles twice in my whole life. And so I didn't want to waste an opportunity. I was frantically trying to test as many flowers as I could and see if they were worth anything as far as making paints and dyes. And I was just stopped in my tracks, completely stopped in my tracks when I came across that Scaevola, which, I'm a botany writer and I have 9 greenhouses and I own a seed company, seedrenaissance.com, and I have never heard of Scaevola before. Now, of course, our climate here is not like their climate there in Los Angeles, but I was so excited. So I came home and I called my local favorite nursery and I said, "Do you have any Scaevola flowers?" And they said, "Ooh, I don't know if we've ever heard of that before. Let us look around and we will call you back." So about half an hour later, they called me back and they said, "Yes, we do actually have some Scaevola flowers." So I ran over there. It's about, I don't know, a 30-minute drive from my house to the nursery, and ran over there. And so it takes an hour to go round trip. And I was so excited and I came home and planted them. And so that's the first time I'd ever grown Scaevola flowers. And I was so happy to have them because they make this extraordinary blue. And this is kind of a bit of a tinny green because I added the alum to it. And this is the plain Scaevola with nothing in it, which is kind of a gray. I'm just going to write this. And Scaevola, by the way, is Scaevola. And the Latin name on this one is Aemula, Amula, Scaevola amula. And this one is this tinny greenish. What did I say that was? Oh, that's alum right there. So anyway, I wanted to show you what a nice, as long as it's fresh pressed like that, you can make that beautiful blue color. And so that brings us to the craft buddy. I can't resist getting this out to show you. We're just how these Scaevola flowers press because they press so nicely. So I've just taken a little piece of paper. This craft buddy, oh, I should show you that. You don't even need this craft buddy. This is a little press, but we can take one of these Scaevola flowers off of here, and it has such a pretty fan shape, and just lay it on here. It's a 5-petal fan shape. Just notice that I'm sort of keeping it flat with my finger and then putting the paper over it. And then if you're just careful, you can press it using the back of a spoon. So you don't even need this other press that I'm about to show you. And you can see through the paper already. We haven't even opened it, but if you can see carefully, you can see that that is coming through. And we can open that up and look. We remove that, and it has made the most beautiful print of that Scaevola flower. And it is, I don't know, I just really, and it's blue on the fresh pressed, and it's going to stay blue. Even when it's dried, it's going to stay blue for years and probably forever. And I just get so excited about that because that color of blue is so hard to achieve when you are doing botanical paints and prints and dyes and things. So anyway, so we'll take another one Oh, and then I was going to show you, so we can take another flower off of here and lay this out here. And then I just wanted to show you just in case, because a lot of people who do, let's just make this fold a little flatter by taking that bottom stem off. I got a little piece of stem on there. And again, I'm pulling it down so it stays flat. And then a lot of artists will have a brayer. So you can use the back of a spoon. I think you get a better print even if you use a brayer, but you don't even need expensive tools. See, look at that. Is that tremendous? I don't know. I think that's so fun. Ah, okay, so now I'm going to take another one. I'm going to show you this Craft Buddy, which I got a few years ago on Amazon for $30. And if you have something like a Sizzix or, oh, that just fell apart in my hands. I pulled a little too hard on the stem, but that's okay. We'll put this over here like this, and I'll grab another flower off of here, one that is fully intact. And now I forgot what I was telling you. Oh, this is basically, what is its real use? It's not really for pressing flowers. Its real use is that it is an embossing machine. And so we can just put this on here like this. And if you have a Sizzix, you can do this with the Sizzix, or if you have, crafters, there are, embossing machines that are other brands as well. And then this comes with plates. And so you just put this on top of the A plate, which is the thicker plate, and put the B plate on top of it. And then slide this whole thing in here and just turn it like this. And I like to, and if it doesn't have very much tension on it, then you might want to consider just adding some spacing pieces of paper, which is why I keep these pieces of paper just to make it tighter. And then it will have printed that for you. You can take all those off and you can pull up the flower, which is not going to, I mean, right now the flower looks pretty nice, but it's going to oxidize that crushed flower. So you just want to get rid of that because it's going to oxidize and turn brown and fall off on its own anyway. But look at that, Scaevola, Scaevola, Scaevola. I think that's so fun to press. And you can just make little cards and you can make little notes. Here, I'll put one of the fresh flowers on there. See how purpley this is? See how purpley this is, but see how beautiful that blue is that it presses on there. So you could make, if you're artistic, you can make some kind of, whatever, an arrangement or whatever, but it's just fun. And when you could make a border, you could, I don't know. But you just want to put a note on here that this is Scaevola so that you have a kind of a record of what you're doing. And then one of these days when we have more time, which is not today, I will show you how to, because one of the fun uses of the Scaevola flowers is to make these botanical quilts. This is a botanical quilt that I've just started. And, I call it a quilt because I don't know really what else to call it, but these are all botanical quilts. Like this is not really a quilt, but they get more elaborate than this, let's just say. But it's kind of a fun presentation. And you can use all of these are fresh pressed with my fingers. They're just, you use tape like this to make a quilt pattern. And then you have to move the tape. And at the end of the day, you have all these nice squares and you can do it as dense as you want, or here's a sort of a different version of that. Anyway, so Scaevola works really nicely on those kinds because that allows you to add blue into artworks, that those more complicated artworks that like what I call a botanical quilt. So anyway, Scaevola flower, making paints and prints and dyes from Scaevola. If only we could figure out the let's just really quickly, if we have time, we'll just see what happens if we do. We should try a Scaevola flower with ascorbic acid and see if it preserves that blue. I can't remember if I have tried that before or not. Isn't that terrible that I can't remember? Okay, so we need another Scaevola flower. We've got a few left over here. We'll take the base off because I don't think it's really the, I don't know. Anyway, we'll find out. We're gonna find out. Let's put, I'm afraid, I don't dare put citric acid on here because I'm afraid it would turn that purple red. And so I'm just going to put ascorbic acid on here, which, if you've seen my other videos, you know is just vitamin C powder. I put 2 drops of water on there, and then hopefully we can find the molar. What did I do with the molar? Oh, here it is right here. And we'll mull this in. And so far that's looking purpley, maybe not blue, but purpley. And as I said before, Scaevola flowers actually disintegrate pretty fast. I don't know, that looks kind of blue, doesn't it? It looks grayish blue. It doesn't look as blue as the fresh pressed, but until we actually get it on the paper, we won't know for sure. I sure wish I could find my rag because I need to wipe my molar down. And here's paintbrush. And drum roll, let's see what this turns out to be. I mean, that is definitely a gray blue. Very useful and very pretty. Definitely not this color here. Not this color here. These are all 4 different colors made out of the same flower, but still a really nice color, that gray blue. Just while we're sitting here, let's go ahead and do one with, because let's write this down that this was ascorbic. Let's do citric, shall we? And see if it turns it red. I've done these for so long that I really honestly can't remember. It must not be too exciting because I would remember if it was super exciting. Citric acid. Let's just put a touch of citric, which is just the powder from the grocery store, from the canning aisle of the grocery store, as you've probably heard me say in many videos. And we'll mull that down. And see what color that makes. That's a more violet color. We can see before we even put it on the paper that that is definitely more in the red family. And I'm doing that with a brush that I did not clean off. So it's got a little bit of this ascorbic color on the bottom because I didn't wash out my brush, but I am now washing out my brush. So that's made a red out of there. And then let's just do we have one more? I think we've got one more flower left. Let's take our last flower, and there might be a half a flower over here too. Okay, there's like 1.5 flowers left, and then we have to be done because there are no more flowers. Oh, well, there's this one here. And then let's put both citric and ascorbic. I hate to reach in front of the camera. I apologize for that. So we're going to put just the tiniest little dusting, like just, 10 grains of citric acid powder and 10 grains of ascorbic acid powder, which is vitamin C powder, and a couple drops of water. 1, 2, because we don't want to dilute that color. And if we put too much water, it's just going to dilute that color. And so with one of these, we got green. With one of these, we got pink. Now we've mixed them together, and let's see what we get. That definitely looks like a darker violety, purpley. Is it? It's more violet than purple. Not really purple. I guess it's violet. I don't know. I'm terrible at knowing the names of all these colors, but I'm learning them. We'll just pick that up and put that on there. That's a great, put that brush right into the water. So this was citric, this was ascorbic, this is citric and ascorbic. And look at all these colors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors that we have made all from one Scaevola flower. Now I don't know, I just think that's super fun, you guys. I just really think that that is super fun. And I can't resist, oh, and we need this in here too, because this is great. And I can't resist just one more time making that blue color for you, because it is so rare to get that blue color out of nature. I just can't resist doing it for you one more time. And you'll notice that it starts out a little purple, but as it dries, it just turns into that true blue color. This is just why this is addicting, you guys, because you just can't tell. I mean, all of these colors out of one single color of flower. This is why I have so much fun doing this. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. As the youth say, please like this video so that the almighty algorithm will let other people see it, and subscribe if you would like to hang out with me and do some more of these fun little botanical paint experimentations. You guys, it is started snowing here, so wherever you are, I hope you're warm and I hope you're having a good day, and I hope that you are relaxing, and I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.